Due to the fact that I really love dragons, I always try in games like these to create a dragon army. After playing with the setups for a day or two, it's time for the final verdict on if dragon army is actually viable. Immediately I can say if you plan on playing 5 dragons, it's not viable. You're gonna get destroyed on tactical difficulty because dragons in this game realistically suck. They've done a poor job in creating them, and honestly it has some weird stat distribution where physicality of the dragon is quite low. So they hit like pansies with the charge attack, but their breath attack is quite good. So they have high magical attack stat but low physical attack stat. It's not that low, but considering it's a goddamn dragon, it hits like a goddamn pansy. That's not a good thing for a dragon, right? There's also another issue of acquiring the dragons. As far as I know, there are 3 dragon types: green, blue and red. Green is the earliest one and it's practically useless. With the Beastmaster perk we can actually unlock the breath attack, but without the Beastmaster standing next to the dragon the breath attack is locked and we can only use the charge attack, which hits, as I said earlier, like a pansy. Green dragons can be unlocked at Lenelio Plateau at the beginning of chapter 2, but it might be even unlocked earlier. I'm not sure if in chapter 1 we can go to this location, can't remember. However, there is a positive about acquiring green dragons. By having them in the army roster, they are going to lay eggs, and upon laying eggs, there might be a chance for a blue dragon, or even a red dragon, which is the most rare. Now, blue and red dragons are much more useful because they come with the unlocked breath attack. Blue dragons come with ice breath, red dragons come with fire breath. If you have someone with Beastmaster perk standing next to them, they both unlock thunder breath. If you want to play with dragons in the army, this is the way to do it. Have blue and red dragons, forget about green ones. It's very difficult on tactical difficulty to have someone standing all the time next to them. There's another issue with dragons in the army, and that is when fighting human enemies. Humans have default evasion rate depending on the gear that they have equipped. So that means they can evade the breath attack often. Especially considering how cheating the game is on Tactician difficulty with the hit chances. And don't even bother trying to hit them with a physical attack because they are going to parry or shield or whatever most of the time. I'll show you my setup on how I finished 2 story missions with the Dragon Army, meaning 1 human that can heal them and speed them up with 4 dragons. That is my setup for a Dragon Army. If you're fighting against humans and want desperately to play with the Dragon Army, then I would suggest using 2 humans with 3 dragons, because you need to counter all the mages. Mages can destroy dragons easily, or debilitate them to a point that they are useless by using slow, stop and whatever. My main is usually Time Mage with White Magic in the secondary slot. Time Mage is a better class to play because it has better stat or attribute leveling while leveling up. So you're gonna get more out of it. When it comes to an important thing about this build, it's the blue slot. The blue slot Swift spell helps a lot in casting spells fast. We have to get these dragons going as soon as possible with the buffs so that they can really burst the enemies down, which they really can do, but it can be gimmicky at times. At the beginning of the fight I cast Hasteja, Hasteja, Haste, whatever the pronunciation is, on the dragons grouped up. It's important to get them going with haste. They can be really deadly when on haste. Then afterwards you can cast Protect, Shell, whatever the need may be. The strategy that I use here is bait the enemy to get to me and then suddenly swarm them with the dragon breath attacks. Usually 2 or 3 dragon breath attacks can bring 1 enemy down. So that's what I try to do in order to get the enemies out as quickly as possible. Forget about grinding with dragons, that's not possible, you're just gonna get yourself in a problematic situations. With dragons you have only one goal, and that is to get through the stage as fast as possible. Sometimes some of the dragons will be dead while the others are going to take care of business. They are really good for bursting the enemy down. But that's it. That's basically the only thing they are good for. It's truly a shame there wasn't some kind of a better system and better design of these dragons, because having a dragon army could be something epic in a game like this. But it's not the only game that does this badly. Tactics Ogre Reborn, also the game that I played a year or two ago, had the same issue with dragons. Very unremarkable. I've tried many combinations in creating the dragon army. I've tried with Bard as the main focal point of the army, but it didn't work out, it's too slow. Then I've used Orator to buff Fate and Bravery of the dragons, which is pain in the ass project that I can't be arsed doing. Honestly, it's a terrible system that can take a whole day to buff the fucking Fate and Bravery. But high Fate dragons would be really good because they would be easier to buff, since sometimes buffs miss. But it's a process that I'm definitely not gonna try. To summarize, dragons are viable up to a point. If you're fighting a human-based army, then I would suggest having 2 humans yourself to boost the dragons and also to be able to raise them more frequently and also to be able to raise themselves, because in this situation, if a human dies, you have to finish the mission fast to not lose the character, and maybe a couple of dragons as well. Anyway, that would be all. Thank you for watching. Hope this video helps a little bit in enlightening people if the Dragon Army is viable on Tactician difficulty. I think Dragon Army would work fantastic in lower difficulties, but on Tactician the game really doesn't allow for much creativity in that department. Anyway, thank you. See you soon.